you are a lawyer, as me, or you're thinking about studying law. That's like 25 years ago for me. What are the things you must know if you want to study law abroad? Okay, first of all, there's two very different systems in law. One is the civil law countries, and the other is the common law countries. I'm oversimplifying, but this is very important, okay? In the common law countries, the judge applies the law, and the judge can change his mind as many times as he wants. So you must know the law, the written law. However, in the common law jurisdictions, the judge decides the law. So basically, when the judge makes a ruling, that ruling is to be applied forever to every similar case, unless, of course, it can change if there's a very good reason for it and the courts decide to do so. So that's the very first difference you must know. And if you're in a civil law country or in a common law country, because you cannot work as a lawyer in a civil law jurisdiction if you study in a common law jurisdiction, and vice versa. That's point one. Okay, so the second thing you must know is that independently of whether it is a common law or civil law jurisdiction, it is important that you understand that in some countries, for example in the UK, you go into law school immediately after school. After finishing whatever grade you finish in, 18, 17 years old, you go straight into law school, okay? It is an undergraduate degree, okay? Same as in Latin American countries. There are very many other differences, but I will not go into them now. I will go into them in the future when I talk about studying law in the UK, okay? For now, I'm going to focus in the US, and the US is different from that. Why? Because it is law itself, it's a graduate program, not an undergraduate program, which means that you have to go to college first, and after college, you can apply to do your degree in law, which in the US, it's called a J.D., Juris Doctor. Okay, the difference here is that you have to go for 3 years. So say you studied law, like me, in Chile. So that was 5 years. If you want to go and study, be a lawyer in the US, you have to take a 3-year course. A 3-year course for the JD. And you're going in with all the other lawyers that, or want to be lawyers, like yourself in that jurisdiction, okay? Instead, in the other places, you just go straight in, okay? That's one option, okay? That's something you need to understand. And this is also important because the second importance is that you will need to know if also you're already a lawyer, so maybe you want to go to do yourself a graduate system, a graduate degree. If you want to do a graduate degree, a postgraduate degree, then it will be better if you do what's called in the US an LLM, okay? So that's a master's in law. Basically, it's for lawyers that already have their degree, so they have gone to college, they have gone to law school, and then you have the master's degree. Those are the LLMs in the US. There's also other names for these degrees. Some of them are MAs, Master in Arts, but these are degrees in which basically what you do is you get a degree in public policy more than law itself. Okay, the third thing you need to understand and you must know to study abroad is that there are some countries where your law degree is not enough to go to court. What I mean is, for example, in the UK, there's a difference between barristers and solicitors. This is also true in Australia and in some other jurisdictions. What this means is barristers are the ones that are allowed to go to court only. And that means taking a whole new studies and working under a barrister yourself for a while. While solicitors are office lawyers, corporate lawyers, every other kind, but they do not go to court. They're not law and order kind of lawyers. Actually, if you look at some programs or shows in Netflix, you will see some very good shows from the UK that are about lawyers, and you can see them wearing these funny wigs. I find them funny, I'm very sorry. Which means that these are barristers, okay? It's with the robe and with the thing. These are the barristers. The barristers are very relevant, by the way. And just a note, most UK prime ministers have been barristers. So it's not something you want to just throw away there as knowledge. The fourth important thing is you want to go, and when you study, and maybe you want to stay and work, okay? Say you are a lawyer already, or you're thinking about law. If you want to work there, I would say, and I'm saying this very responsibly because I think I made a mistake to choose the wrong program. Instead of doing a 1-year master's degree, I think it is much better to do a JD, a Juris Doctor, the 3-year program. Because in the end, maybe you'll stay 1-2 years. It is much easier to find a job. I will talk in the next video, I will talk about the requirement to become a lawyer in the US, or to apply, okay, to be a lawyer or to apply to a JD. Okay, moreover, however, if you do not like this way because you have already studied too much, you don't have enough money, which is, well, basically the problem, but I still regret it. I would have had my scholarship gone to the JD program by all means. If you do not have this, then you have the option of going there, studying your LLM, and even if you do not do that, you have the option of studying for and passing. Both things are hard and take time. The New York bar. If you pass the New York bar, you can legally be a lawyer in New York and act as a lawyer in New York and in the states that have reciprocal treaties, let's say, with New York. The California bar, which is the hardest bar in the US, you can take it even if you haven't done any studies in the US, as long as you have done 5 years of work in your home country, and that is accredited by your basic lawyers association from your country. It is very hard, but you can sit and you can pass. The question is, and this is the very hard thing, the question is, when do employers hire law students or lawyers? Okay, most employers, 99% of employers in the US, hire their lawyers when you are going into your second year, finishing your second year. If you don't have a job by the end of your second year, remember in the US it's 3 years as a postgrad, if you want, degree, then it's very hard that you actually find a position anywhere. So this is something you must keep in mind, okay? Because it is very hard to actually give the bar and then say, hey, I want to work here. Unless, of course, you know someone, you can work in the international sites of many law firms, and you can do that for a year or two, and that is possible. But staying there, it's a lot harder than it seems. Okay, so if you wanted to do that, beware of this condition. What's the way out? So what if you want to do a master's degree only, but you want to start working in the US afterwards? Because you see, the problem with the law, as we already know, or maybe we lawyers already know, the ones that are thinking about studying law do not know, is that lawyers when you decide to study law, you are tying yourself literally, like with a rope, to your own country. It's very hard to practice law in a country where you did not study. In fact, it is almost impossible. So what I did personally, and I think this is a good way to work in the US if you do well and if you get into a good program, is you can always take, if you're already a lawyer, you can always take a really good, there are 2 or 3 main tax programs, international tax programs in the US. Well, there are many more, but you want NYU, according to all the rankings, you want Georgetown, or you want University of Florida, okay? So once you do those, if you do very well, it is extremely possible to get hired by a Big Four. So meaning, I don't know if the Big Four audit, you know what they are, but KPMG, Having said that, I wanted to present to you some evidence of, because you're thinking, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, I need a brand, which is true. This is also a must to know. I need a brand, which means that if I'm going there, and maybe I'm not getting a job, or maybe I am, I have to come back to this country, wherever you are, and I have to have a brand. So what's the best brand you want? You want Harvard, right? Harvard. Maybe it's because of the rise of, it's a great university, but there are also many other great universities. I personally like, Yale, Stanford, NYU, Columbia, so many good universities for law, but I will look into Harvard today. And I will look to give you some examples of the Harvard J.D. program. So let's see. They received, for the J.D., if you wanted to do a J.D., so become a lawyer in the US, they received 8,393 applications. This is for the class of 2026. The offers that they made of admission of that 8,300, almost 400 people, were actually 798. And the enrolled students are 561, okay? That is a 9.5 admission rate, from which you have 51% women, 51% students of color, 17% LGBTQ+, 14% STEM majors, 14% first-generation students. And what is the magic number that we're looking for? It's only 8% international students. So there's space to grow there. You have an advantage in other ways, because it's something that they put in their website that it's important for them. So 8% could be higher. So you have a chance. Okay, you're always allowed to dream. Okay, and also I want to insist on that. Harvard University, as well as other universities, but I'm looking at Harvard today, outline other characteristics of their new students. For example, I'm reading right now. The students admitted into Harvard for the class of 2026 play 18 instruments, from bass, cello, electric guitar, flute, French horn, Spanish guitar, trumpet, ukulele, violin, So they put these things down there. Then they also put other things. They put like, they have 5 pilots. They have 3 professional figure skaters. They have 3 wheel legal innovators. They have 2 stand-up comedians. I'm thinking I could apply. 1 Marshall scholar. 18 chess players. Let me see. So this is besides the 6 student body presidents. Okay, so this is what I wanted you to know. If you're applying to Harvard, you have a chance. There's a chance for international scholars. There's a chance if you want to do a JD to go to Harvard. And I insisted that this goes into the video I've already recorded. If you haven't seen my past videos, please go to the videos of how to get into university that I will link to this one, because it's so important. And when you're applying to these things, you have your own personal brand and seal as well. So if you want a Harvard degree, you need to, and you have to first study like hell, but also you need to have your own brand, your own thing. So play instruments or be a stand-up comedian. So if you find this video useful, please subscribe to my channel. I will keep posting different ideas of how to study abroad. And please also give me a thumbs up, very important for me. So hope you liked it, and I will answer each comment you'll put down there. So thank you.